Hello geometry students, we're going to take a look at the samples for lesson 10.7, our final lesson in chapter 10, where we are working with writing equations to circles and graphing circles. So for our first sample, we're going to look at writing the equation of a circle with a center at -512 and a radius of 8. So if we recall that the equation of a circle will be x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals our radius squared. And we'll need to fill in our h, our k, and our r. So we're told the radius is 8. That means that we can figure out the radius squared simply by squaring 8 and getting 64. Our h and our k are going to come from the center, so we're going to write down the opposite of the x coordinate for our x minus h, so x plus 5 quantity squared, plus y, and then we're going to write down the opposite of our y coordinate, so y minus 12 quantity squared, and that's equal to our radius squared, 64. And then that completes sample 1. Sample 2. Again, we're writing the equation of a circle. We're given different information for writing the equation of this circle. We're told what the center is again, but at this time we're not given the radius. We're given a point on the circle instead so that we can calculate what the radius is, and then from that determine r squared. So I'm drawing a picture over here to get an idea of what I'm doing so I can figure out how to get that radius length. And so I'm putting the center down and then the point on the circle and drawing a circle around that center. This is just a quick and rough sketch of it just so I can see what I need to do. Well, I need to figure out the distance from the center to a point that is given to us on the circle. And so I can use the distance formula. So instead of d, I'm going to use r since the radius is the distance I am looking for. And so we're going to find the difference in our x-coordinates and square them, the difference of our y-coordinates and square them, and we'll work out our radius squared from that information. So the difference in our x-coordinates is 3 and -2, so 3 minus -2 quantity squared, plus the difference of our y-coordinates is 4 minus 1, so plus 4 minus 1 quantity squared. So our radius will be equal to the square root of 5 squared plus 3 squared. Our radius then would be equal to the square root of 34. And if we square both sides, we'll find out the radius squared is 34, and that's what we're going to need over here in our final equation, since our circle equation is equal to r squared. And then we are given the center of the circle, so we're going to use the -2 and 1 next to our x and our y. Remember, to find out what our h and our k are, we need to write on the opposite of the x and the y coordinate next to our x and our y. So our final equation will be x plus 2 quantity squared plus y minus 1 quantity squared equals 34. Our last problem today for our samples will be to graph a circle given its equation. And then we're going to identify 4 points on the circle with their correct ordered pairs, and we'll also identify the center with its correct ordered pair. So we can immediately pull the center coordinates off of our equation, the opposite of the number next to the x, -2 for our x coordinate at the center, and the opposite of -5 is 5, so that'll be the y coordinate of the center. And then our radius squared is 16, again that comes directly from the equation. Taking the square root of both sides will give us our radius is 4. So we will plot the center at -2, 5. We'll move 4 to the right, 4 up, 4 to the left, and 4 down from the center point. And we will plot those points. We'll draw a circle through those 4 points, and then we'll identify each of those points on the circle as well as the center point. So notice that all of the points here that are on this imaginary horizontal line will all have a y-coordinate of 5. So to get the x-coordinate, we would do -2 plus 4, which is 2, -2 minus 4, which is -6. And then to get the points that are on this imaginary vertical segment, what we do is we would keep the x-coordinates -2. They're all 2 to the left. And then we're going to add 4 to the y-coordinate here. 5 plus 4 is 9. Subtract 4 from the y-coordinate. 5 minus 4 is 1. And we'll have all of the ordered pairs labeled correctly on our circle and the center point. And that finishes our samples for 10.7. So now you will be ready to work on the quiz for 10.7, and we'll see you next time.